If you've ever played a trading card game before, you know just how expensive it can be. Between opening sealed products, hoping you'll get the exact cards you're looking for, or paying for individual cards off of websites like TCG Player, trading card games can be an extremely expensive hobby. Unfortunately, the case isn't much different for the one-piece trading card game, with many of the meta decks being comprised of high-priced staple cards, and many of the best-looking cards being locked behind a paywall. The hobby can get expensive quite quickly. For many card game enthusiasts, this drives a wedge between the desire to be competitive and the health of their bank accounts. But just like our future king of the pirates, we have to start somewhere. That's why I'm going to be taking on the challenge of starting from a singular one-piece TCG starter deck with a weekly budget of $10 to go towards upgrading my deck and $5 going towards weekly tournament entry. Do you think I'll be able to manage the challenge of taking down my local competitive scene? Or will the restriction of playing on a budget have a greater impact than we can even imagine? Let's find out. Welcome to Budget Pirate Progression. For this challenge, we're going to be starting off with one sealed copy of Starter Deck 18, the Purple Monkey D. Luffy Starter Deck. The reason that we chose this deck over some of our other options is because I ran a poll among my local community, and this is the deck that they voted that they wanted to see most. So without any further delay, let's hop right into it, open this thing up, and see what deck we're going to be taking to locals this week. Alrighty, we got our sealed structure deck right here. Let's go ahead and see if we can open this up, and we'll do a quick little breakdown for what we're going to be starting off with. Only opened up one of these sealed structure decks before from the new set, so let's see what we got. Looks like we got our sealed structure deck here and one PRB pack of the best booster series. Go ahead and set that off to the side for now, and then we'll break into the structure deck. Alrighty, so we got our structure deck here, and I briefly looked at the card list, but I don't entirely know the ratios of each thing, so let's go ahead and break it down here once we get open into this. Looks like we, of course, have our leader card, our 5,000 power, 5 life Monkey D. Luffy leader. Looks like we have 2 copies of our 4-cost Zoro Searcher card. That'll come in handy. We have 2 copies of our Luffy Taro, the big play of the deck, looks like. So that'll be very helpful. We have 2 copies of Usohachi. It's our primary 2K that rests a blocker on play. Looks like we have 4 copies here of Onami. It's going to be one of our main blockers playing off of Luffy Taro. 4 copies of our Sangoro. 4 copies of a different Usohachi, 4 copies of Orobi right here, 4 copies of our blocker Jinbei that'll come in handy, 4 copies of Zorojuro, the little one that's for ramping. Don't know how much play that's going to get. 4 copies of Chop Amon to restand our 6,000 power characters. 4 copies of Frenosuke here, another 2K. 4 copies of Honikichi. 4 copies of our Event Searcher, and 4 copies of our 10-12 Vanilla card, and, of course, 10 Dawn cards. Alrighty, let's get into the PRB pack opening right here and see what we got. Open this up, see if we can get anything that'll actually help us out for the first week, or if we're just going to be going in with just the starter deck. Looks like we got 1 Derringer, 1 copy of Barrier, 1 blue event here, 1 Emporio Ivankov, 1 copy of Upper Yard, 1 Judgment of Hell, that'll come in pretty useful. Have an event counter, 1 copy of Charlotte Cracker, 1 copy of Charlotte Smoothie, and 1 copy of Blast Breath. And of course we have our Dawn here. Let's see if we can actually fit these into our deck, and then we'll head on down to locals here. Alrighty, we just pulled up to our local game store here at the comic book shop in the Valley. We're going to go ahead and head right in, get registered, and sit right down for locals matches and see how we can do with this first week. I'll catch you guys soon. Well, that's the end of round one. We ended up getting paired up against Kinemon. I won the dice roll, chose to go second. Then we ended up seeing the SRs that we needed in the deck, so I ended up taking down round one. We got 3 more rounds to go. I'll update you guys after round two. Just got done with round two. Luckily, we won the die roll. We were up against Carrot. We were going second, and it was a grind game. It went all the way into time, but luckily we took it in the end. That puts our record at 2-0. So we'll see you going into round three. We'll give you a recap after each round. Just finished round three. We ended up going up against Blackbeard. Even though it's favored, we did lose the die roll, forced to go first. It was a really close game that came down to the wire. Ultimately though, this starter deck has really surprised me, and it's done way more than I even expected it to. Unfortunately, it was down to 1K counter in the end. Blackbeard ended up taking it down. We're 2-1 going into the last round. Just finished up at round four. I did get paired into another Blackbeard, but with just the starter deck stuff, it wasn't enough to take it down. I did end up winning the die roll, fortunately. Took second. I feel like maybe I would have had a better chance if I had went first, get more early swings out. But ultimately, he just saw what he needed to see. He saw 2 Laboons in his starting hand, drew into 2 Van Augers, and so he was able to just keep clearing my board. And then he finished it off with a finger pistol in life to clear out board and kill my final blocker, so I couldn't set up for the next turn to try and clap back. So we finished the first week 2-2. I'm gonna go ahead and record up prizing as it's divvied out, and then we'll get a recap as soon as I'm back at home. Well, we made it back from locals. We ended up going 2-2 tonight, and I couldn't be more impressed with what you can do with just a starter deck in one piece. I can't think of another game where you can spend about $10 to get a starter deck, $5 to get into a tournament, and honestly be really competitive and have a lot of fun while doing it. Huge shout out to all of my opponents tonight. Everyone was a great sport. Everybody had a great time. And a friendly reminder to everybody is that it's locals. A lot of us make mistakes constantly, and a lot of us, take plays back because we're all trying to learn. We're trying to get better at the game together. If you guys have any questions, or if you guys want to see other types of content, let me know down below in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment what you want to see, and we'll see you next time.